Right, now Marina, we're going to take this one out for a flight test as well. What's the story with this bat?
This is a girl. She's not. She's only about 2 years old. She was rescued by an RSPCA inspector only a matter of 10 days ago.
Was it from netting?
Yes.
Backyard fruit tree?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a constant problem we have all over Australia and other countries as well. People use the wrong type of netting to protect their backyard fruit trees from wildlife, all sorts, possums, birds and flying foxes. But if they use the wrong type of netting, then it's not effective. It doesn't protect the fruit and it entangles the wildlife, and we see dreadful injuries. A lot of the rescued animals have to be euthanized because they'll never recover. The netting acts like a tourniquet and cuts off blood supply, and the injuries are horrific. So the lucky ones are rescued in time. They have to be observed for at least 2 weeks to see what injuries present after that time. And then if they look well enough to be released, we have to do flight testing like this to make sure they're flying well and they're fit enough to be released. The important thing to remember with backyard fruit trees is that we use the correct netting. It looks a little bit like mosquito netting or fly wire netting, but quite soft. It's very fine gauge. People can't put their fingers through and get entangled, and that means that the animals can't put parts of their body through and get entangled either. So that's very important if anybody's ever netting their backyard fruit trees. Now we're just putting a little collar on the bat, and that collar is attached to a firm fishing line. The fishing line has been measured so that we know the bat can't get to the trees. It will instinctively head for the trees, but we know that it can't get to the trees because of the length of wire attached to the collar. If it flies well and looks as though it's gaining height, then we put a little bit of gentle pressure on the fishing line. That slows the bat down. That has the result of bringing him slowly down to the ground, and they land gently on the soft grass, and then we pick them up and check to see how rapid and deep their breathing is. If they're huffing and puffing a bit too much, then they need a bit more flight practice.
Okay, she's ready to go.
That bat looked as though it was flying fairly well, Marina.
She's flying terrifically.
Do you think she's ready for release?
Absolutely.
Great. And will we release her here today in Centennial Park?
I wouldn't like to release her here because this is not actually her colony. Her colony is more than likely to be out west in Parramatta.
And is that because of where she was rescued from?
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Right, so she'll be happier. She needs to be reunited with her own peer group, bats she knows.
Well, basically, she'll be more familiar with the landscape than it would be maybe than the city.
Okay, all right, great. So in the next few days, you'll drive out to Parramatta and release her near the colony there.
Yep, that's right.
Fantastic.
Yep.
That's great news.
Yep, it is good news.